So we are live now, and my name is Justin Messina. People call me Jmess, and I'm a health and lifestyle coach, transitioning to this business coaching type of things because with the Vision Fit movement and everything going on, it's a really exciting time. Rob Shepard will be along to join me in just a few minutes. So I'm going to get right into this topic we're going to be discussing tonight, which is really a three-step process of, not a process, but three concepts: the how-to and the benefits marketing of your business as an entrepreneur, the what you offer, what you're giving to people, and how to really take what you want to give to the world and make it into an offer, and really what are the steps to really doing that and getting it really set in your mind so that you know the step-by-step how to put that offer out there. And then the last piece, which is a piece I'll focus a lot on, and it's the why. Not just why you're doing it. You probably heard from different companies, different people out there talk about your why a lot, having a concrete reason for doing things. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. It goes. I want to go into the vision piece. We talk a lot about the vision, obviously, but the vision piece is going to be more about tonight. It's going to be about how do I get my passion, my desires, and my vision, and move that towards a step-by-step of a flow process of how to get all the way from that dream and break it all the way down in steps, all the way down to what am I doing each day, right? So that the daily actions aren't so fleeting, and we'll get into some of the more productivity type of concepts within the why. So with that said, I want to go dive a little bit into the how-to. Really, looking for Rob to come on in a few minutes so that I'm not just preaching stuff this whole time. But uh, first concept I want to get into on the how-to and benefits marketing piece is really about. There's this quote Danny Johnson said. It was one of the best trainers I think in the world, and she says that everybody's in sales. Most people just don't know they're in sales, so therefore they are lame at it. And this is a good concept because what she says is there's basically you're selling either a product, a service, an idea, or you're selling yourself. And that's true for everybody on this planet. And it can be something that is a little uncomfortable, trying to sell something or feel like a salesperson because it has a very negative connotation, slimy salesman type of thoughts around it. But when it comes down to it, the marketing side of things, especially as an entrepreneur and a coach, it is very, very important, and it's maybe even more important than what you're actually offering. And that sort of sounds funny, but we obviously are going to put a lot into what our product or service is or idea. But when it comes down to it, people have to know what they're getting, and that comes down to marketing. So when we talk about benefits marketing, talking about making it very clear what the person's going to get. Apologize if it's loud here. Very clear on what the person's getting, right? So when you put something out there, we're so much in the process of creating a product or a program or whatever we're putting out there that we need to sort of remove ourselves from that situation and start to look at it from third person and think, what is this? What are people seeing? What are they going to be attracted to? Do they know right away what they're getting, right? Because people have to know right away that how you're going to help them and what exactly you do, which we'll dive into a little bit in the next phase. But so it's two different concepts here that I'm really talking about, which is what is it about you that's different, right? And then what is it about your product or service that is different from what's out there? So if you're, say, you're a health coach or you're a life coach, or you have some sort of offer that is very similar, at least on the surface, to many other people out there, um, what makes you different, right? So in figuring out what makes you different, I find it really helpful if you don't just go into those groups all the time and get ideas from other people all the time. If you take the time to really craft what you're about And we've talked in the past few weeks about no separation between your life and your business, and big, a big, a really great result from that is that you're using your own life and your business is the same thing. All right, I'm getting a little off track. I'm being a little cloudy. Let me just back up. If your life and your business are aligned and there's no separation between them, then you can more effectively know what you're marketing, how you're marketing, because it's really just an extension of yourself. Your whole vision is an extension of yourself. So number one, what is my only factor? Your only factor is basically something that you can do that most other people or nobody else can do. And this is whether this is a list for you or if it's a picture. You can literally draw out a picture of what people are getting from your product or service. You can make a list of different things that you do specifically. Like if I were to do this activity, and I would write out the fact that I have an engineering background, which is very different than other health coaches. So then that can be something that's easily overlooked. You could overlook it and say, all right, well, engineering has nothing to do with health or has nothing to do with business, and that's just sort of in my past. But in reality, everything you've done in your life leading up to this point has value. Even if you've changed directions or you feel like you've failed at so many things and you're starting over, you're never truly starting over. You're always using skills and experiences you've had in your life to bring forward to this moment. So if I look at systems engineering, I learned a ton about creating systems, and my mind is very evolved in the sense of how do I take a project, how do I break it down and plan it. So I can use that in coaching, right? So that's something that not many people are likely to have that skill up to the level that I've learned it, and I have it. It's a skill I've had naturally, but also that I've learned and spent several years developing in a very intense way. So that's a way of really finding your only factor. So what's unique about what you offer, right? So what you offer is going to be, like I said, more about how you are delivering it, how you're packaging it, than what the actual content of it is. Okay, so if say you're offering a program that has, let's just use the detox example. I love using this example because so many people health coaches out there have detoxes. So if you're going to put a detox out there and you don't have anything different besides the fact that it's a detox, you might have the best detox in the world, but no one's really going to know it because nobody is going to care to look at it. And that's kind of like sad in a way, but when it comes down to it, what is different about it, right? If it's just another detox, there's a million detoxes to choose from. You know, how are you competing? How are you competing with your price point? How are you competing with your originality? What is it about your detox that's different, right? And maybe there's not a whole lot different, but you need to pull out whatever you possibly can out of it and speak to your audience and really understand why people that you want to attract are attracted to your stuff and your detox. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense with, number one, knowing what you do and what you do best and what no one else can really compete with you around, because it's just something that it doesn't even have to be something people can't compete with you around, but it's just something that you do really well. And not just one thing, but a group of things, a picture of why would someone want to work with you, or why would someone want to get your detox versus someone else's detox. So it can be your personal only factor, or it can be somebody else, your products or services factor that's different. How you style it, how you package it, and how you deliver it. I'm gonna take a short break just to check on what's going on with Rob, making sure he's all right. So just give me about 30 seconds and I'll be right back. All right, so we're just gonna keep moving and go right through this. And if we have to if we have to go through it the whole night, just myself, then that's all good. But I'm sure Rob will be along in a few minutes. So still with the how-to and benefits marketing piece, I want to just go through two more points. The first one being there's this marketing concept that's really powerful. I've kind of touched on it, but just to lay it out in crystal clear terms, um, you want to understand what someone's looking for, right? So you want to cater towards your niche of people. And to reiterate, your niche of people, it doesn't have to be, a target market activity that you fill out that try to really hone in on it. It can just be the people that you want to associate with in life, and that can be an easy way to find your target market. We've touched on that many times on these hangouts, but it's worth saying again. And what they're looking for is really how you package it, right? So your detox, for instance, I'm going to keep using the detox example, could be something where you might have an aspect of an elimination diet, and you might have different smoothies, and then different just simple recipes for people, and that might be the three major parts of your detox. And that might not be what people are actually looking for. People might be looking for just, how do I lose weight fast? And if that's your market, then your detox, your title and your tagline and what you put out there to promote it should be all around weight loss and how do I quickly lose weight, results that other clients are getting around losing weight. There has to be a clear message for people to latch onto. But beyond the packaging, what they're actually getting, what are they getting? They're getting probably a good education of how to eat healthy, how to get started in a new area of your life where they're making changes. Maybe they're getting coaching from you, right? But whatever they're getting for what that they really need is really what's on the inside, right? So it's kind of like the packaging and the present. So if you could just think about like opening a Christmas present, right? You've got the packaging that looks pretty. What's on the inside is sort of like a little bit of a mystery, right? So the present is really what is going to really help them the most, right? So that's a really key idea, because when you're going as a kid, if you were going to open Christmas presents, you'd be looking at the packaging. How big is it? Like what could this be, without knowing what's in it? So you're kind of going to be sold on the packaging, and it's really no different when it comes to offering a product or service. So that's it on how to and benefits marketing. I can't really went through it all. Might have to backtrack in a few minutes, hear what Rob has to say. But moving right along, we want to go into what are you marketing and what is your offer. And I really have just like one really key point to make on this, and it's about the strategy of your actions and the flow of how you content to the offer. So what is your content that you want to put out there, and then what is your offer, and what are some strategies you can use to really understand what you're offering. That's the step number one, is really understanding what you're offering. So you might not really have an offer. You might have say a coaching program, for instance, and you might not have another real offer, or maybe you're affiliated with a company and that's really your main offer right now. Which, it really, hopefully it's not, because your main offer hopefully is somewhat branded to yourself in some way. But if you have your main offer, then what you can do is understand, I need a strategy to get to that offer, and to do it in a very nice, compact way where you know exactly what people are doing. And there's different ways to do this, but the best way really that I want to focus on is really having an email list and email follow-up series. And what I'm talking about is autoresponders. So this might be, depending on who you are, this could be very normal, this could be brand new, but building your list is just super important, because when it comes to your offer, you need to have people build trust with you, right? And that's hard to do if you're just like on Facebook and Twitter and just putting stuff out there. what I see the majority of people doing out there is just, I'm going to post 4 pieces of value in a day, and then for every 4 pieces of value, I'm going to post one offer or promotion or a marketing blast, as they say. So I'm just going to keep promoting something until like someone bites. And while this will work, I guess over time, like it'll just have to work just by sheer like volume of posts. It's also it's also not like a real strategy. It's just sort of like um, let's throw spaghetti to the wall and see what sticks, right? So a way you can use your email list to I can't believe I'm giving away some of this content, but the way you can use your email list to build up to your offer is you create a follow-up series. And if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, you can do this with Aweber or Constant Contact are 2 really good services for this. And basically, you have your free offer to start with, right? It's a free gift in some capacity. It could be a video where you give away some good information about a few secrets on something. It could be a PDF, which is really popular because it's just a quick and easy way to read some content, get some valuable information around a certain topic. And this free gift should be very aligned with yourself, and it should really be an extension of your identity and where you're going with whatever you do as an entrepreneur. So from there, what you can do is you can have your follow-up series, which basically is an autoresponder, so automatic emails going out to people who have subscribed to you, and just have a series of, maybe 3 to 5 emails over the course of a 10-day time frame, and at the end of that series, you basically have your offer, right? So in your email, you have an offer of this is what I'm, this is whether it's your company, you can join me in this company, and this is what happens, or it could be another bigger free offer like a multi-day challenge type of thing, or it can be a product or a service that you have, like a coach, like your coaching, or you have a detox, for instance. And hold on 1 second. I want to see if I can get Rob on. I think he's having some problems here. Alrighty, should be coming on in just a few. Um, so we were talking about follow-up series. So in a follow-up series, what those few messages between your free gift and your offer that you want to put out there is going to be just really valuable messages, content related to the process, and each email can be escalating in value, escalating in intensity, in focus, and requires sort of an escalating participation. So you want to pique their interest, and then you want to increase their interest, and all the while increasing their level of identification with you, their level of trust with you, to get to that next level of you want to have the people that are really aligned with you stick, and they're going to stay with you. And so then there'll be more likely people to want to join, whether it's your business opportunity or if it's do coaching with you or whatever your offer is. So they'll be more likely, and you'll be more likely to attract the right people. And really what's important to remember in this whole sort of strategy of what I just laid out for you for a list building follow-up series strategy, what's important to remember is the list is really the goal. The goal is really to build that group or that tribe of people like you, because then in the future you can sort of, whatever happens, whatever shifts and turns you make in your life and whatever comes along, those people will always be connected to you, and you can always save that, and you are connected to those people forever. You don't have to rely on a business or a technology to go. If a business goes away the next day, you still have that group of people You have their emails, maybe their phone numbers, but you have the contact for those people. So you're not like, what I'm trying to say is that's so much more powerful and important than how many how many like detoxes, for instance, you sell, or how many clients you get for coaching in a given month or so. So I'm gonna recheck in with Rob. Apologize for the issues here, but I don't know what's going on here. He's here, but he's alrighty. There's been some problems with the Hangouts lately. I don't know what the deal with that is, but we're definitely upticking it with the we've got the new layout with the comments underneath and everything. So if you're on right now, I see a few on right now. Feel free to comment in the comment sections below. Uh, it's definitely would appreciate it. It's not the easiest thing doing this on your own, talking for 20 minutes or so up till now. So alrighty, so we're just gonna get back into the points. I think I might just go into the third area of your why, because this is getting a little crazy right now with oh, Rob's here now. I'll just wait for him to settle in, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Rob, are you there? Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna keep going until Rob shows himself. So what I wanted to talk about, I think I talk a little bit about the Vision Fit movement that's going on right now before we get into the last topic here. So the Vision Fit movement really is collaboration effect between Rob and I, and already getting some people on board. Really, to people really are really passionate about growing their dream and building it into a real business, getting the right community. That's not about promoting opportunities and people just coming in sort of spamming stuff. We really wanted to avoid that, and we wanted to have people who really just have the passion and have the motivation, like they're self-motivated, and they wanted to have better training, that's going to help them out, and not people saying, if you join this company, then we'll train you, or if you get on with this product, then all your answers will be all your questions will be answered and everything will be good. So we wanted to create a community that was not really like that at all. That was open to different people and different businesses. Um, all about growing each other and really being more of a inclusive community that's not based upon being affiliated for one thing or another. So Rob, what's great about Rob is Rob has a lot of the he really is good at speaking on the tried and true methods, like how exactly to do something, when to do it, how to use a strategy, and just kind of follow the proven methods that are out there. And what I really focus on is I focus on the vision and the mindset pieces. And as we get going, we want more and more people to come on these hangouts. These Tuesday night hangouts we do every week, 8 o'clock. Might be 8:30 after this week, but we do these hangouts every week, and we always do new topics, and we always look to hear from people. What are the new topics that people want to hear? And we want to run towards that, and we want to get it more interactive with the comments that you can post below the video, and the Vision Fit movement is going to be growing a lot. I can see Rob furiously trying to get on here. I think he's having some big issues. I think I'm going to go into the third topic now. Now that I've discussed a little bit about the Vision Fit movement. So basically, the why. Why are you doing things? This is such an important thing because I just want to take a stat from the corporate world. 80 there was I can't source this. I'm sorry, I can't cite the source, but 80% of the working day for an employee they found was, I think it was 85% or 80 to 85% of the working day for an average employee in the corporate world was wasted time throughout the day. So basically they weren't being productive, and there can be different reasons for this. Probably employees aren't typically as focused as maybe the owner would be, but it's also, if you think about the corporate world, things are very defined. They know what they have to do to reach certain goals, and it's usually a recycled process. There's not a ton of innovation for most companies on a consistent basis. So they pretty much know what they have to do, but there's this huge lack of productivity. So the reason I bring this up is because as entrepreneurs, there's so much that we have to define ourselves, right? We can learn from other people and get systems and things, but a lot of entrepreneurs, especially the people that I relate with a lot, are people who are very intuitive, and they're creators, and they sort of go against the status quo. So it can be really hard to follow systems for people like my tribe and me. And when you're that way, you really have to take ideas and really understand. We all understand there's no one-size-fits-all training. So if you could take an idea and understand the skeleton of it, or like the big picture of it, and then you can create your own strategy. You can create, how is this going to work for me, and just keep testing things out. And then pretty soon you could have your own system that you've created, and there's going to be people just like you that are going to benefit from that as well. So as a coach, if you're a coach and you do this, that's a great thing, because you automatically have a part of your program, just because you had to do it for yourself. You didn't even really try to come up with something, but it's worked well. So so what I'm going to go over next is really about how do I get from the why of the big picture of my vision, my ultimate goal. What's my ultimate desire in life? Like, what do I want to do? And get it down to a daily action. So that could be tricky. I mean, it's because there can be a lot of different steps, and to get from, I'm gonna just walk through the process. Okay, how about that? I'll walk through the process, and this is a process that I'm working on for myself. So I'm just gonna put it out there, and hopefully this can start to give you some ideas if you are in a process of, like, maybe you have a vision, but you're like, what do I have to do every day? I'm posting to Facebook, I'm posting social media. What am I really doing? Am I wasting time? Is this productive? Like, those sort of questions are, important questions to ask, because you always want to be asking, why are you doing something, right? Because the worst thing to do is to really be doing something because someone's telling you to do it. Like, oh, you need to do this. You need to post here. You need to connect with people here. And all the while, you don't really have a strategy for doing it. You're just kind of being led by other people and what's working for them. And pretty soon you're like a chameleon. You have a chameleon in a bad way, where you have all these different strategies, little bits of strategy from all these different people, and you're basically just meshing it together and just like hoping it works and it's a business, but it really isn't. There's no foundation there. So this is a one way to look at it, and I prefer this way because I feel like it allows more innovation in the process, and it's not so cut and dry, like this works for everybody. And not that people always say systems work for everybody, but a lot of times what's generally accepted by people is there's a way to do it, and just do it and it works. And that's really not how life works. That's not how it works for most people. Well, maybe for most people, but there's always going to be people left out of that, and I tend to focus on the people who are sort of, on the outside, like, this doesn't work for me. What do I do to make it work? So, all right, so the process is this. Step one is to find your vision. Okay, and I can't go through all these steps. This is the kind of stuff we do in the Vision Fit movement and stuff, or we're going to be shortly. We've got this great lifestyle guy that really does this vision piece and this ultimate goal piece very well. So definitely check that out underneath if you're into that sort of thing. So uncovering your vision is huge because it's really going to put you in a place where you're like living decision free. So everything that comes up, there's so many decisions, and you're going to have more and more decisions as you go along in your business. So if you can have decision free living, then what that really means is you've already understood where you're going, what your goal is, and you feel it in your heart. It has to be get down to like your core of who you are. And once you have that down, then the decisions going forward are going to just be so much easier because you're not going to be making decisions in the moment like, should I go this way or that way or this or that. It's going to be just obvious what you have to do because your mind is going to just be focused in one direction. And if things are going to move you in that direction, then you do it. If things aren't going to move in that direction, you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. So vision. Second step is your ultimate goal. So your ultimate goal would be something you could decide if you want it to be 6 months, a year, several years, whatever feels right for you, wherever you're at in life, however far or short you want to look into the future. And this is going to be a goal that is just that once you get here, it'll really mean your life's really transformed, and you're just living in a different space in your life where you want to live. So I'm gonna give you an example of that. For me, it's because I feel at the stage where I'm at, I have a really great business mind, and the things that I've been challenged by are the simple day in and day out things. Hence this whole process we're talking about. But I know I can say with 100% confidence that I'm someone who I know that can really impact people. And my ultimate goal is to make people wealthy. I want to make 10 people wealthy in the course of a short period of time. My ultimate goal is around a year. And wealth to me is not just about money. It's about your whole lifestyle. And I am aligned with people who also feel this sense of lifestyle freedom. That's what they want in their life. They have the core element of freedom and innovation. So that would be an ultimate goal. Because here's the thing: if I make other people wealthy, other people achieve this lifestyle freedom in their sense of what that means for them, that's going to ultimately help me get there as well. But it's a lot easier and a lot more beneficial to focus on other people and where they're going, how to help them, and it means more. And we tend to keep promises to other people before ourselves. So if we can focus on other people and helping other people, then we're always going to want to work harder than we would for ourselves. As funny as that sounds, it's completely true. So number 3 is we want to take our ultimate goal and we want to break it down. We want to break it down maybe into about 3 different goals, not too many. It could be maybe up to 5, but whatever feels right for you. You want to just break it down into what must happen for this goal to happen. And even a better way of thinking about it is what must happen to make this goal inevitable, right? Chalene Johnson has a great 30-day push challenge. Talks about writing out these types of goals. She calls them push goals. So what goal being completed will sort of make everything else sort of completed. So different approaches. It's definitely good to see different approaches, but like I said, what I'm mapping out right now is very open to do what you want with. So you want to come up with like 3 to 5 goals that will really help to get to that ultimate goal over time. And so from there, after you've created that, you want to create checkpoints for these goals, right? So obviously a goal is very powerful when you have a time, when you have a date around it. And so these smaller goals, or these sort of broken down goals, can be things like, what is your list? Do you want to build your list to a certain number, or how are you and like what are the strategies you're using to build your list, and how are you making sure that you're attracting the right people versus just having a number of like 100 subscribers this month or whatever it is. So that's how you break them down. And when you create checkpoints for goals, you want to do manageable time frames. You don't want to do like a month to several months for checkpoints, or you don't want a checkpoint like, say you're just starting, you don't have a list. You don't want to have a checkpoint like, 100 subscribers, because you don't know what 100 subscribers means. It's sort of pushed off into the distance, and the more you push things off into the distance, the worse it is, because you're just going to keep cycling in your mind, and you're going to be it's going to feel like there's such a distance between where you're going, and you're not going to be able to feel any joy or feel any like, I'm moving forward, it's working, if you have a far off goal. So your checkpoint should really be between a week, 2 weeks type of time frame. So you can say, okay, within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to increase my list, for instance, by 40 people, and they're going to be people that I connect with. If you're just starting, you could be like, I want to connect with people one-on-one, and that's how I want to build my list, because I want to have the first 40 people be people who are close to me, and make sure that I'm, attracting people that are, within my circle of influence that I really want to create. Okay. So that's in the checkpoints. So now we've gotten from a vision and a 1 year goal, or possibly several years ultimate goal, and broken it down into about a 2 week time frame. So from here, we want to get into weekly action and daily action, and this is really, I think this is really the hard part, or at least it is in my experience, with getting from all these higher goals into a very actionable, what am I doing every day? What am I doing each week? What am I being held responsible for? But what really happens is things start to change when you go through a process like this and break it down. Things really start to change with how you look at things, because if you look at things in terms of, all right, I'm going to post so many times on Facebook, I'm going to email my list so many times or whatever, and you don't have something bigger that you're reaching towards, and there's not a clear action plan of step by step, how am I going to get there, it's gonna get really boring, and it's gonna just wear on you, and it's not fun. And this is really, I think this is supposed to be fun. Entrepreneurship is like super fun. So with that said, your weekly action and daily action should be all about hitting those checkpoints. And if you've done a really good job at, and this is something that you don't do once and just put it aside. You're going to be in this. You're going to make this plan, and it's going to be your plan, and you're going to be in this every day. So your daily action will be things like, how am I reaching out to people? How am I following up with people? How am I engaging my audience, right? So that can be through social media, through sending out emails, through videos you put out, any sort of interaction that you put out there. Is that a daily thing? Like if I'm going to put out a video like this hangout, perfect example. Am I going to do a hangout every day? Probably not, because that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of planning, and that's a lot of you couldn't tell by this one, but it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of getting clear on a topic, really making sure that I have everything in line. And so I'm not going to do a hangout every day, right? I'm going to do it maybe once a week or maybe twice a week. So with that said, get clear on what am I doing every day, what's absolutely vital that I do every day, and what's vital that I do every week, or how many blog posts am I going to put out in a given week, for instance. How many just individual videos? Am I going to make short videos, like 2-minute videos? Am I going to post pictures of what I'm doing when I'm out in the world, just to share what I do and have people build more trust with me? You can really make your plan however you want it, but it's really important that you do make the plan and that you go through it step by step. So you basically, gives you a freeing feeling, like, I know why I'm doing this, and that I know is very, very specific to myself. Like I need to know why I'm doing something. Other people can sort of just run with it, and that's awesome too, because a lot less planning is needed. But either way, like, just do what's best for you. And you kind of know your tendencies. You might hear something I'm saying and be like, that's not gonna work for me, and that's fine. but you need to, cater it towards what's best for you. And don't worry about if some guru is telling you that this is how to do it, because if you know it's not how you're going to do it, then just don't do it. I mean, that's bottom line. So with that said, I just want to follow up with, I want two more points. Okay, so number one, your vision, you got to hold that paramount over anything. Okay, anybody that says anything to you, I've sort of said this already, but hold your vision paramount to any company, any people, any groups of people telling you whatever they want to tell you. Just make sure that everything you do is aligned with where you're going, and don't sacrifice that for anything that people tell you what might be good or not. So, and the number two thing is make sure that with clarity and vision, it really helps you to live from your gut. And I talked about this with decision-free living. If you're living from your gut, you know what that really means in a biblical sense, like what the Hebrews talked about as far as your heart, when they said heart in the Bible, and in those days, they were talking about literally their gut, like what's in your gut of what's it telling you. And it's really translates very similarly in nowadays in our modern world in the United States and developed countries, is really what people say to your heart, follow your heart. For Hebrews, it was like follow your gut. But it was pretty much the same thing. So if you follow your heart, it's literally like you know what to do, like you know what to do. And if you can follow that, and a lot of times we have to like unlearn things, we have to find a new way of sort of listening to that intuition, and that it's in a spiritual sense. I'm not going to get into that, but it's really a spiritual thing. It can be very grounding. That's why a lot of activities that I give people, I want to say, like, go to a place of no distractions, ground yourself, because it's very powerful when you get to that place where you're really trusting yourself. Everything becomes more clear. And with that, I'm going to close out now. Unfortunately, Rob was having some problems, so he couldn't be here, but we'll be back next week. And we'll be back, and we'll make sure that we get on at a good time and really deliver some great stuff to you next week. So with that said, if you identify with this whole what I talked about with basically packaging, the marketing piece of this hangout tonight, and also the vision piece, and how we break down our goals from your vision for your ultimate goal all the way down to your daily action. If you identify with that and you're a heart-led entrepreneur, that is essentially what the Vision Fit movement is. It's heart-led entrepreneurs coming together online and in a premier community. So if you identify with that, then go ahead and check that out underneath the video. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're on YouTube, for instance, go into the description and click on the link to get back to the page where this event was streamed live and on replay. So with that said, guys, have a great night. Live Vision Fit.